Thank you so much for watching Riff TV. Now, this interview is obviously with video, but I don't interview everybody on Zoom. That's why I put it on my Talkin' Rock with Meltdown podcast. We talk to rock artists from all over the genre. So check out Talkin' Rock with Meltdown wherever you get your podcasts. And now to today's video interview. Hey, Chad, how you doing, man? Good to see you.
What's going on? How are you, buddy?
Good. I'm going to drop some names here for you real fast. My friend John 5 says hello, and he says you're the best. And I asked him about the birthday party. You saw him at Tommy Lee's birthday, right?
Yeah, we all got to go down to this spot that Tommy's got this love for. It's about an hour north of Puerto Vallarta. It's called Punta Mita, and there were tons of us there. It's really strange though, being a friend with Tommy, and Nikki shows up, and so there's Tommy and Nikki there, and like the 13-year-old fanboy in me,
right?
I'm just trying to suppress that, just push it down, push it down. Don't fan out, dude. Don't.
I'm in the same boat. You know, I've been doing this for 32 years. Every once in a while, you talk to someone, you're like, man, I used to listen to them in high school or whatever the case.
Oh
is.
yeah,
yeah, it's a lot of fun. But John 5, I mean, do you know a guitar player better than that guy?
John's incredible. He brought his guitar out one night, and because we were there for, I think we were there for like 5 days.
Wow.
So on one of the nights, John brought a guitar out, and a lot of people were heading to bed, and it was just like John and Tommy and myself. I think Deadmau5 might have stayed up with us that night as well. And John just played, because now I'm allowed to say that he's going to be filling in for Mick for the rest of the tour. And so he just sat there and played every single Motley Crue riff that's ever been written and recorded flawlessly.
Sure.
Like, and like, you don't need to put on music when you've got that kind of talent just sitting right there. I mean, he was just running the gamut, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, he's so good. Well, let's get and talk to you guys. Get to talk about your band right now. Get Rolling comes out November 18th, which is next week. I mean, really, what the world needs right now is a new Nickelback record, right?
That's what the internet keeps saying. I keep hearing this. We're just trying to oblige. Yeah, no, it's been fantastic. New record. We haven't done anything in 5 years. We just kind of, well, I mean, the world had the giant pause button pushed on it. And so we thought it was a good time to get in and get creative, turn a negative into a positive.
Yeah, so I've had a chance to listen to the record quite a few times, and some of the stuff that sticks out to me. First of all, I want to ask you about two songs, Just One More and Does Heaven Even Know? What are those songs about? Are they about a particular person or just...
Yeah, Just One More. This one, it gets a little dark, but
right.
I'll keep it quick so we can stay light and bright.
Sure.
My cousin had a miscarriage. She was very far along, and so much so that they had a funeral service for the unborn baby, and it really affected me, and I just couldn't imagine what she was going through, and so that's where the line "Tell me, Lord, have you got room for just one more?" comes from. So, and what was the other song that you were asking about?
Does Heaven Even Know?
Does Heaven Even Know? So that one was sitting in the vault for a while. I wanted to make sure that song was going to stand on its own two legs and stand out on a record. So it seemed like for the longest time we kept coming up with these records, and we had something similar to that every single time. And I didn't want to put two of them on a record because I like our records to be balanced. I like a little bit of everything on there. And so this time we came around, I'm like, okay, we're finally going to record this tune. And there's a movie from the 80s where an actual angel falls into some guy's backyard. And I don't know why it sticks with me, but I was just thought like that just was always in the back of my head. And so the whole, obviously it's a metaphor, but does heaven even know you're missing? Sounds like a bumper sticker. But it's truly about just loving someone so much and saying that they're so perfect that they must be from heaven, kind of thing.
Now, a couple other songs I wanted to ask you about. Vegas Bomb, I mean, that's just a fun song. High Times, that's just a fun song as well. But my favorite song of the record, can you take a guess?
I'm going to say Skinny Little Missy.
No, Steel Still Rust, but Skinny Little Miss is good, but
Oh.
Steel Still Rust, man, what a great melody, what a great hook, and I didn't know if anyone else had brought that up to you.
That one doesn't come up in a lot of interviews. That one is about so the very first time that we needed a bodyguard, or that someone told me I needed a bodyguard, How You Remind Me goes through the roof, and suddenly we're going to be playing all these arenas, and there's all these trucks and buses that are outside the venue, and here we go, and there's a world tour, and I'm like, who's this guy? And it's like, that's your new shadow. He goes everywhere you go. It's like, okay, but we just became fast friends, and 20 years later, all the stories that he told me, because he's fought in so many places all over the world. He's a Marine, and the stuff that he would tell me would just, it's just shocking. It's very shocking. I'm glad someone else goes to war for us, and we get to sit back and just come up with music. And so that one's, I'm not sure if you caught that within the lyrical content, but that's what that song's about.
Yeah, Kid Rock's a friend, and he hires a lot of ex-military guys to do the
Mhm.
same thing, as you
Yeah.
probably well know.
Yeah, I mean, those guys, they come out of wherever they're at, Iraq, Afghanistan, any of these places, and they're looking for work, and they don't crack under pressure.
Right.
There's not a lot that phases them. If you can get shot at, you can handle a bar
And
fight.
yeah, screaming girls, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of Skinny Little Missy, somebody brought this up to me on the internet when I was looking for, to see what people wanted me to talk to you about. Have your lyrics kind of changed a little bit with the times? Obviously we're in different times than when the first record came out, with songs like Animals and different things like that. Do you ever think
Mhm.
about the times we're in now as far as your lyrics are concerned?
Well, I think just because I'm a little bit older now, like there's certain stuff that it would just be sort of silly for me to say. Um, Back when I started off a song with "I Like Your Pants Around Your Feet," that was a different time. It was a different Chad, a different era. Like when we recorded um "You Look So Much Cuter with Something in Your Mouth."
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, these songs, I think that you guys play these songs on the radio, I think is hilarious. And that anybody thinks that we take this band seriously, I think is hilarious. Because we're just four goofballs, and we're just sitting there going, can you imagine if they play this on the radio? And then you guys play it on the radio. um, but yeah, I think it's a little tough for Ryan P, because he's got a daughter. I think there was a stage where his daughter was probably like 10, 11, 12, right in there. And I would look over at him, and I'd get him to start, songs. I'd get him to say the first line, and get him to say, "I like your pants around your feet." Then he would change it up, and just to mess with me. He'd be like, "I like your feet around your pants." He'd just do that kind of crap. And the whole crowd starts laughing because he doesn't want to say it. He doesn't want to say it because his daughter's there, and it's like,
Well, last
it's a
time I saw you guys, you're like, "Hey, why don't you hang out and party with us here in Detroit? We got a day off." And I'm like, "Yeah, that 16-year-old girl and her friend that was just here. That's my daughter and her friend." And you're like, "Yeah, you're screwed." So
yeah. No, you
know
got
the
to,
feeling.
that's the dad moment. We're seeing a lot of that too. It's great that so many parents are bringing these teenagers to the show now, and the teenagers are fans, because they grew up on the music. Yes, we're old.
Yeah, join the club.
Yeah.
Speaking of Detroit, I asked your brother about this last time I talked to him, and I thought this was hysterical. Of course, when you guys played here on the Thanksgiving Day in the Lions game, speaking of not taking yourself seriously, that Funny or Die video was just like, I mean, that's classic even today.
What, can we name everybody? Okay, I was RoboCop. Um,
Somebody was Alice Cooper, Tom Selleck, I think, right? Is that?
Tom Selleck,
Yeah.
Alice Cooper, and Dave Coulier.
Oh, that's right. My friend Cooler, a
for
good friend
the
of mine.
win.
Yeah,
Dave
that's
Coulier.
right. Cut it
Wow, I
out.
just pulled that out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that's the level of, to which this band takes themselves serious. Now we're four goofballs and trying to get us to do anything serious. And it's weird, I think that there's been some misrepresentation of this band over the years because we'll be in a photo session And we're doing this photo shoot, and we're just goofing off, and you've got all these candid shots, and we're laughing and just like, cry laughing, and just getting all these great shots. And then right at the end, it's always the same thing. All right, guys, give me a little bit of attitude. And so we all do that thing, and we all kind of stand there and do one of these, and then that's the picture
That's
that
the
gets
one that ends
used
up, right?
every single time. And it's like, look at these douchebags. Look at these douchebags taking themselves so seriously. And it's just a terrible misrepresentation of the band.
Yeah, I know you guys don't take yourselves that seriously, and I love the band, and it's like I'm always championing you guys for right here in Detroit. Speaking of other Canadian bands, Tyler, Dean, and Dave from Theory of a Dead Man say what's up. They wanted me to ask you about a hockey team that came into the recording studio, the first album you guys did. Apparently, someone grew up in the bushes and everything, huh?
Well, so we were here, yeah. So I had them recording at a studio called Greenhouse, and I actually bought all the gear from that studio, because that studio, the board, the SSL, was originally the board from Little Mountain, and Little Mountain with Bob Rock recorded, a ton of the Motley stuff. 2 Aerosmith records, like just so many legendary. What else was done on there? Slippery When Wet.
Yeah, that's in Vancouver, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually want to buy in that studio, and it doesn't exist anymore, but I know he's going this story. So the Carolina Hurricanes
That's right.
were in town, and we were down at this bar that it's just always full of hockey players. Like after every game, both teams go to the Roxy, and there must have been 6 or 7 of the guys, and I said, hey, let's why don't you guys come back to the studio? We'll play you guys all this new stuff we're working on. And they're like, yeah, absolutely. I made them ride in the back of the truck. And then we got to the studio, and then I started, I'm not bad at chugging beer, and doing a little. So if you've got like a Corona or any glass bottle will do, just top to bottom, just as fast as you can. So I start just goading these guys into like drinking more and more and more and more, and they've got a game the next day. And so they got their asses handed to them by Vancouver, and I'm taking the assist on that one because I was hungover. I was so incredibly hungover, but I knew that they were skating guilty the next day for sure.
Apparently it was 7-0 from what I hear.
It wasn't good. I can tell you that.
All right, 2 more things here for you, then we'll cut you loose. I know I got a bunch of interviews. I know you were friends with a Diamond VP. Are you going to go see this Pantera reunion, whatever they're calling it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely going to go. I want to see him. Charlie Benetti's a good friend of mine. Zach's a friend of mine. I want to see these guys play. I don't know Phil. I've never met Phil. I was really close with Diamond and Vinny. But selfishly, I would like to see those songs performed. I want to see them performed live. I know that while Vinny was alive, he had no interest in doing it. He wasn't interested at all. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But when they come to town, I'm going to go see the show. I want to go scream along to some of these songs. Again, it's just me being purely selfish. I want to hear the tunes.
Yeah, Vinny, I knew Vinny pretty well, and we bonded over our love of hockey, and he never really talked to me about wanting to play with those guys again, but that's the way it goes. Hey,
Yep.
Speaking of hockey, final thing here for you. Stanley Cup predictions. We're early in the season. What are you thinking?
It's looking like the Avalanche might be trying to make another run for this one here. So, am I betting with my heart, or am I betting with my wallet here? What are we doing? I know that, and my brother Mike has always been the biggest Red Wing fan, that lives outside of the greater Detroit area. So if I'm betting with my wallet, I think I'm going to have to go Avalanche on this one.
Yeah, it's a good pick. I just played hockey yesterday for the first time with Brendan Morrison.
How is he?
He's great. He, I
Good.
told him I was gonna be talking. He goes, "Oh yeah, he's got this big old house and stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, cool. You're supposed to be on your boat or something the other day. We were supposed to talk." But yeah, I never met him before, and he was awesome to play with.
That's yeah. I mean, those guys, 20 years, 30 years after these guys retire, they get on the ice. And if they don't want you to touch the puck, you don't get to touch the puck. It's something. It's really something.
No
Yeah,
question
for
about
sure.
it. Well, I'll tell you what, Chad, it's always great talking with you guys. Get Rolling comes out on November 18th. And like I said, the world needs now is a new Nickelback record. So it's
Oh, thanks,
and,
brother.
the
Thank you so much.
record's really solid, by the way. Really cool stuff.
Thank you, man. Thank you for taking the time today. I really appreciate it. And thanks for the reschedule. I really appreciate it. Detroit has always been good to us. You guys in particular have always been so good to this band. We love you. We are going to come back to Detroit every single tour we can and show you guys as much love and try and reciprocate. So thank you so much, my man.